Have you ever heard the phrase, "in the best interests of the child"? It sounds noble, right? Like an unbreakable promise to protect the most vulnerable. It's used constantly in family courts, presented as the ultimate moral compass, guiding every decision. But what if this phrase, meant to be a shield for children, has become a wall that hides devastating harm? What if the very words we trust to protect kids are being used to justify outcomes that are anything but in their best interest? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this sacred cow of family law and asking the tough questions. The principle of the best interests of the child started with a simple, powerful idea. When adults are in conflict, the child's welfare must come first. This was a huge step forward, meant to shift the focus from parental rights to children's needs. But over the decades, something strange happened. This clear principle has morphed into a vague, all-purpose justification. It's become a catch-all phrase that can mean almost anything, which often means it means almost nothing at all. Think about it. What does best interests actually look like? Is it being with a loving parent? Is it stability? Is it emotional safety? The problem is, there are no clear, enforceable standards. This vagueness allows the system to defend almost any action or inaction by simply stamping it with the best interests label. It becomes an excuse for endless delays, for questionable decisions, and for ignoring the obvious pain a child is experiencing. Instead of being a standard to meet, it's become a way to avoid being questioned, even when the results are clearly damaging. One of the most shocking parts of this is how the child's own reality gets lost in the process. We talk about their best interests, but we rarely listen to them. Children's voices are often silenced or filtered through a long line of professionals, lawyers, therapists, social workers, each offering their own interpretation. A child might be desperately missing a parent, but their feelings are dismissed as confusion or manipulation. Their direct experience is replaced by an expert opinion. Meanwhile, the court system moves at a glacial pace. A week is an eternity to a child. A month can feel like a lifetime. Yet, courts routinely enforce prolonged separations while they wait months or even years for reports, assessments, and hearings. We treat this delay as a normal part of the process, but for a child, it's a constant state of uncertainty and loss. This separation isn't just a waiting period, it's an active form of harm, creating anxiety and emotional distress that can last a lifetime. But because we don't have a way to measure this time-based harm, it's largely ignored. This brings us to one of the biggest blind spots in the system: parental alienation. This is when one parent psychologically manipulates a child to unjustly reject the other parent. It's a severe form of emotional abuse, but in court it's often misunderstood. The child's rejection is seen as their own choice, or it's mislabeled as a simple loyalty conflict or high-conflict divorce. The court sees a child saying, "I don't want to see my dad," and takes it at face value. Without digging into the why, they fail to see the intense pressure and fear that might be driving that statement. The emotional damage caused by this forced separation is immense, but because it's invisible, the system often pretends it isn't happening. The court is effectively blind to one of the most destructive dynamics a child can face. This leads to a core, dangerous belief that runs through the family court system. The idea that delaying a decision is safer than making one. The logic seems to be, let's wait for more information, more reports, let's not rush. On the surface, it sounds cautious and responsible. But in reality, for the child, this delay is toxic. Every day of separation deepens the child's anxiety. It reinforces any negative stories they're being told about the absent parent. It creates loyalty conflicts that tear them apart. The longer a child is kept away from a loving parent, the harder it becomes to repair that relationship. In many cases, the delay itself becomes the most harmful intervention of all, cementing a separation that may have been easily fixed if addressed quickly. The system, in its attempt to avoid making the wrong decision, ends up guaranteeing a harmful outcome through its own inaction. So, if this phrase isn't always protecting children, who does it benefit? The institutions themselves. When the best interests of the child is a vague and unquestionable goal, it protects the system from accountability. It allows judges, lawyers, and administrators to focus on their intentions rather than the actual results. As long as they can say they acted in the child's best interests, they are shielded from criticism, even when a child is clearly suffering under their watch. It becomes a perfect bureaucratic defense mechanism. It protects the process, not the person it's supposed to serve. The system keeps running, the professionals keep getting paid, and the vague, unchallengeable phrase ensures no one has to answer for the human cost. It is time to stop treating this the best interests of the child as a magical incantation. It needs to be a practical, measurable guide for action. This means creating clear standards for what it means. It means recognizing that delay is harm and prioritizing speed and decisiveness. It means finding ways to listen to children directly, to understand their real lived experiences, not just filtered interpretations. We need a system that is judged not by its intentions, but by its outcomes. Does the decision bring a child closer to a loving parent, or does it push them further away? Does it reduce their anxiety, or does it increase it? These are the real questions we should be asking. Without this shift, the phrase best interests of the child will continue to be a hollow promise, a moral shield that, tragically, causes the very harm it was created to prevent. It's time to demand better for our children, to move beyond empty words and focus on what truly matters, their well-being in the here and now. Thank you so much for watching. This is a complex and deeply personal issue for so many families. If this topic resonated with you, please share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you believe these conversations are important, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content that challenges the way we think. See you next time.